So one of the greatest science fiction tale-in series of all time finally returns with a brand new animated movie that looks to pay tribute to his long-standing legacy with Babylon 5, The Road Home. First elected president of the newly established Interstellar Alliance, John Sheridan, leaves space station Babylon 5 to settle into his new home on the planet Minbar with his wife Delenn. However, the christening of a new tachyon-fueled power generator results in him unexpectedly being transported through multiple timelines and alternate realities. Along the way, he reunites with some familiar faces and discovers cosmic new revelations about the history, purpose, and meaning of the universe, while trying to find his way back home. So August 15th of 2023 saw the release of Babylon 5 The Road Home on home video and streaming. Coming from the original series creator of J. Michael Straczynski, Babylon 5 was such a groundbreaking series. The thing started in 1993 with his original pilot movie The Gathering and finished his 5-year pre-planned arc in 1998. Such an amazing series. The fact that J. Michael Straczynski, who came up through like He-Man, The Masters of the Universe, and Real Ghostbusters, a lot of animated series back in the 80s, kind of coming full circle to such a degree, coming up to this entire film. He developed this entire idea, this entire almost like a 5-part novel shot for a television series, having each season be an entire year on the space station of Babylon 5. Such a fascinating, detailed, rich, deep, dimensional thing that explores so many different themes across 5 seasons. Amazing type of stuff. It's one of the best series ever, in my opinion, and I love this thing. These characters are so rich with detail and so much wonderful qualities that seeing this entire animated film brings a lot of emotions to the surface. A lot of different things, and the fact is, this series has lost a lot of its original cast members over the years. There's been a lot of a major family dynamic amongst the cast and the crew of this entire series. Now, losing a lot of these actors along the way has really been a very emotional experience for everyone involved. And it was the fact that Straczynski, he contacted everyone who was still a surviving cast member before they went into this entire thing, just making sure, is this okay that we go forward with this thing and recast these roles with brand new voice actors? And everyone signed on to it. They're all very much in agreement and endorsed the entire process here. Even a few of them that decided not to return still endorsed the entire thing. So everyone signed off on it to move forward this whole thing, and this is great. I think this is an entire great animated movie that really just finds such a great way to bring these characters back that we know so well and still hit all those emotional beats and still has a resonance for what you had before. And you can tell Straczynski has not missed a beat. Maybe even gained half a step or something else like that along the way. All these characters are exactly as they were 25 years ago. Writing them the exact same way, finding the emotional beats, the personality quirks, the humorous qualities of all the different characters, all the little things kind of textured out through the entire thing. They're completely here. Even from the new voice cast and the entire thing, they're inhabiting these roles so very well. I just love so much when you get the new actress, Rebecca Rady, portraying Delenn. Wonderful just work she did, following up from Mira Furlan's work as Delenn, just like such a powerful but heartfelt and gentle character, but such a fascinating, fierce type of character as well. So it's like everyone came on to create new life for these characters, for the actors who had passed, did such a wonderful job. Even if they're not exactly pinpoint on replicating the voices, they replicate the spirit of those characters so very well, just like the guy who does Drakar just inhabits that boldness, that sort of spirituality the character gained through all those years on the series, all these wonderful things, just like everyone came in and does a wonderful thing, including the returning cast. Bruce Boxleitner, fabulous. Perfect as John Sheridan. You've got Tracy Scoggins coming back from season 5 as Elizabeth Lockley, the new captain of the entire station. You've got Bill Mumy coming back as Lanier, doing some nice work in there as well. I thought Peter Jurasik, fabulous. Londo Mollari is one of my favorite characters in the entire series because it goes through such a fascinating arc in the entire thing, and I just thought Jurasik is pitch perfect. He hadn't lost the goddamn thing, even though he was a little uncertain how much he could really tap into the character. Once he got into it, apparently just rode the entire wave. He's absolutely exactly as he was in the series. All these different things, just everyone came in, Patricia Tallman, and everyone else just kind of came in, did such a great job, and just carried on the legacies. Everyone new and old maintained the legacies for the characters so very well through J. Michael Straczynski's writing of the entire thing. Wonderful stuff. And the animation for Warner Bros. Animation is just stellar. Just the quality of this thing is so much off the charts. They maintain sort of the regular color scheme of the series to such a degree. There's a lot of pastels, all purples and reds and some other things here, and they're just like really nice touches of certain things. They could really just add an extra vibrance on top of what B5 already was. The colorings, the designs of the characters have such a great streamlined quality to them that really kind of does evoke a little bit of that 80s cartoon sensibility, but it has all those modern touches. You can do a little bit of the 3D animation stuff integrated with the 2D cell animation type of stuff. Wonderful stuff. Just like it's such a gorgeous thing to look at, even in 4K. Wonderful type of stuff they did to design this entire thing. Kind of taking all the designs they had back in the series in the 90s when they were doing complete computer animation for all the effects work of the series. Just do a little touch-ups here and there. A little slight liberties here and there to just kind of make them streamline a little bit more. Do things that look a little bit better for the modern age of how they want to do things in animation. So they had little liberties to kind of take things, kind of adjust some of the lines in here and there on like the Star Furies or on the station itself or some of the things here and there, but it still feels so much faithful to how the series looked and just gives it such a brand new saturated vibrance on screen so much. It's like it looks absolutely gorgeous so much what they're doing here. And of course, being animation, they do a lot more scope than what they could do on the series back in the 90s. Not quite as much money on B5, but they really just made everything work so well. Once they kind of got into their step of certain things, maybe about halfway through season 1, everything really started to pick up and find its footing to such a great degree. And once Bruce Boxleitner kind of came in to replace Michael O'Hare in the entire series from Jeffrey Sinclair over to John Sheridan, things really did start taking on much more of a different complexion to our series. Just came onto a better clip of certain things, even though O'Hare, I really liked O'Hare as Jeffrey Sinclair. I really liked his quality entire series. I liked that character so much. Took me a little bit of time to warm up to Sheridan in season 2, but really did win me over to such a degree. And Michael O'Hare did had to step out the road because he had certain medical health issues at the time that Straczynski kept very much under wraps until O'Hare sadly passed several years ago. But it was just a wonderful thing seeing a great family dynamic with Babylon 5, with the cast, with the crew, so many different things. They've stayed in touch so much over the years. And the story of this entire thing is like, okay, we're tapping into the multiverse stuff that's really kind of going on right now, and some people are a little batting back and forth how kind of tired they are, depending on what the quality of the thing is. Because you look at saying like the Spider-Verse movies, everyone's just so gaga with those things because they're so extremely well done. We look at some other things like, oh, that's kind of tired, they're not doing a very good job of it, they're kind of doing it kind of worn out to such a degree. But when we have a vibrant, strong, sharp story to get to it and have an emotion behind everything that's happening in the whole thing, B5 The Road Home really does hit that. Because even though it's really nice, I think this can play for both new fans and old fans, because the old fans will see a lot of things that are touchbacks to other things in the series. For certain flashes we saw, maybe like alternate timelines or something else like that, different paths the entire story could have gone on if they didn't do the certain actions at certain points in time. Certain premonitions we had along the way are definitely seen a much more fuller fruition here, and certain just rewarding type of things overall. But it's not like and fan servicey sort of exploration or whatnot. It does have a very good story at the heart of it. I very much like the quality that you're following John Sheridan between these different timelines and different time periods and stuff like that, seeing all these different events that kind of shaped who he was and what he did, how not doing certain things, going along certain paths kind of changed the course in such dire type of ways. It's a nice way to see how that character gets reflected in that regard, and also finding the emotion behind everything in his journey here. That was extremely well done. Like I said, I think all the characters are just exactly the way they were. They didn't miss a step, running a single line of dialogue, a single emotional beat, the whole thing. I think it's completely on point from what B5 was before, and kept that spirit in the heart of everything completely in line, and still maintaining all those different qualities you really love about those characters so much. I think everything hit off on such a really, really fantastic level, this whole thing. Even the music, even though it's not exactly the Christopher Franke score, who was part of Tangerine Dream before. I think Franke's retired now and stuff like that, but they kind of still mixed in a little bit of the electronic stuff, but still had a much more of a orchestral sounding flavor to the entire thing that really fit the size and the scope of everything that's going on here. So it still felt more modern to such a degree. It didn't feel like a throwback to the 90s or whatnot. So it felt very much of the time, feels very much modern, feels much of the moment here, that feels kind of timeless in that regard. So I think they did a really fantastic job overall. The design of the entire thing, the music, the acting, the whole thing, it's just wonderful type of stuff. I think everyone did a really exceptional job pulling this entire project together to really make a really just kind of a heartfelt story to such a degree. Even though you have a lot of action, a lot of dangerous type of things, a lot of interesting things going on, there are very much kind of high concept sci-fi things. Straczynski knows you have to have that human element. It's about the human condition, pushing that forward, finding the internal philosophies and all the different ideas you can explore through this cosmos of different things. But still at the heart of it, you have to have people. You have to have characters that mean something, they have depth, they have emotions, they have things you can relate to and connect with so much, and that does show through so much in this story, and feel completely in line with the series at its peaks. So many different things, just like it paid homage to different things, but it didn't bog it down as fan servicey type of stuff. Still had an important story to tell about these characters and what the resonance is, and still open up certain avenues to find a new path to telling new B5 stories in the future. So I thought this thing really came together very, very well. I like the new featurette they have in the thing. They have interviews with the entire cast. Everyone. Some are done remotely, but they're fairly well quality and whatnot, but they talk with absolutely everyone. Just like it did such a great, great job overall. And the commentary track, I found very enjoyable. It's got Rick Morales, it's got Straczynski, it's got Bruce Boxleitner, who's actually watching the film for the first time, so he's a little awestruck overall, but he's just nice to have Boxleitner there, just kind of sharing his kind of first emotions by the entire experience, seeing the whole thing. Of course, he read the script before and he performed everything, but it was so much just seeing that animation right there on screen, which again looks absolutely phenomenal. Just everything looks so good. Just like I think it's an absolute winner. And of course, they're saying like Straczynski's got more stories he wants to tell if this thing becomes successful. So I definitely say go check it out. If you haven't seen B5 before, I definitely say give it a shot. And if you're interested in it, the thing's been remastered. The entire series has been remastered. It's coming out on Blu-ray in December with all the entire original series episodes plus the pilot movie The Gathering. So that's there. I think right now it's up on Tubi if you have access to it. But if you're in other regions, definitely look around to see where it's available. But I say go check this thing out. It can really introduce you to certain characters, get you involved with certain things, but not really spoil too much of anything if you want to go back into the series proper and stuff like that. So I think it's a really phenomenal type of thing. I really liked a lot of the different touchbacks it had to certain episodes without bogging down the story or kind of cruxing it as being too continuity heavy in that regard. Just a really nice thing having like a news report at the beginning of the entire movie to really kind of get you up to speed about the context of certain things, where things stand, where President John Sheridan and stuff like that with the Interstellar Alliance and all these different things about the Shadow War. It's a nice piece of context. He did construct a very nice self-contained story that tells a story that you can follow very well without having a multitude of things about the continuity in your head, but still rewards the people who know about that continuity so well. So I think it really did hit aces on this thing. I'm very much pleased about this whole thing. I'm very excited for the Blu-ray set coming out in December. I think I've got to get it because I just got to get it. I got to get it because the HE remasters look absolutely fantastic. What I've seen of them, wonderful type of stuff. And Straczynski has had this entire live action reboot series thing kind of hovering around as a potential type of thing that was going to happen. It's going to happen at the CW, but then CW kind of got bought out and transitioned over to another company that was not quite going in the same directions. But I think Straczynski said that they just about clawed the rights back from CW or the WB right before all the strikes happened with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA and stuff like that. So it's still in a holding pattern, but hopefully those strikes will be resolved and people get their fair compensation for what they deserve. The actors, the writers, all that type of stuff, everything be resolved in their favor in a very reasonable type of thing, and people will come together and we can get things moving forward for fantastic projects, potentially like this reboot series. But if we get a few more animated movies, I'd definitely be all up for that because it's definitely a fantastic style, this whole thing. I liked it. The quality of it all is very, very much high end. So guys, definitely let me know what you thought about it, if you saw it already, or if you haven't seen it, let me know if you're going to check it out and stuff like that. But if you liked the video, thumbs up, like, subscribe, share links around, but also there's the Patreon to contribute something every month, to get a little early access to everything around here, plus the Super Thanks feature that can contribute anything you want directly to the channel through YouTube itself. Or anything, guys, thanks for watching, liking, and all that type of stuff. So guys, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.